don't know what God has planned for me, but I do have faith that it's good. And I'm sure that it's better than what I had planned for myself. Okay? So I was sitting here reading the Bible, doing my own Bible study, and I'm in the book of Matthew, and something just popped out to me like when reading it, and I think that it just made me remind me of myself. But it said in Matthew 10:39, if you cling to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, Jesus, you will find it. And it reminded me of all the times that I've been trying to do this thing called life, right? Without God, without Him. And I was just very lost in this world, like very lost, no direction, trying to do it by myself. One of the things I would say is, in the midst of trying to do this thing by myself, trying to control the outcome of things by myself, it just never worked. Never worked. Everything I was trying to do that didn't include God didn't work out. Hold on one second. But then I went back to this book called Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shirer. And one of the things she was talking about, the part that I left off at, is talking about like trying to change your behaviors and how that's just a temporary fix. So basically she said, using your own grit and personal resolution to force changes in your behavior is not only exhausting to maintain, but nearly always proves to be nothing more than a temporary fix. Inevitable relapses turn up into a never-ending cycle of disappointment, frustration, self-hatred, along with unhealthy emotions. And then I was on a live, right? Shout out to Minister Ant on here, because he talked about behavior modification and how that does not take place of what God is doing, right? So what we try to do is change our behaviors and think that's good enough. That's good enough. I'm not doing it no more. That's good enough. But you're still not doing it with God. So it's still, the outcome of it is never going to be good. It's not a lasting change. But when you do it with God, right, there's change. And in the scripture, he said, if you give up your life for me, you will find it. But I was the person trying to cling to my own life, right? Because for some reason, maybe it was, well, not maybe, it was the anxiety, the fear, trying to control the outcomes of my life, right? Instead of walking with God in this and trusting God all the way through it, I was trying to cling to my life. And when it says, if you cling to your life, you will lose it, when I was trying to take control of my own life or cling to my own life, I was losing it. I was losing it, okay? Losing it. Trying to control the outcomes, doing things without God. And I say this because I had severe anxiety, right? I was grieving. I had all these things going on, right? But was doing it without God. I wasn't praying about it. I wasn't asking God about it. And the only time if I did ask God about it, it was because I was scared in the moment. And then I never went back to God afterwards. I was doing everything without God. I was trying to do everything, like literally everything. I think I was talking to somebody about this, but like when we do things without God, right? They don't look bad. It may not look bad, right? It may like, oh, okay, like this is cool, but it's not what God has intended for our lives. So although what we've created for ourselves, it looks good, it's not as good as how it would be with God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I would rather want what God has for me and it be great, right? Instead of having what I created for myself and it's just mediocre, right? I don't know what God has planned for me, but I do have faith that it's good. And I'm sure that it's better than what I had planned for myself, okay? I don't want to cling to my life and lose it. I don't. And I don't want to do life. I keep saying this as of late. I don't want to do life without God. Okay? I will never do life without God again. I will never do life without God again. When you do life without God, you're not equipped